agreed. Next one on Saturday, similar kind of vibe to it, but we've got the Green Bay Packers going on the road to take on the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, very similar vibe for sure. You got a top ranked team in in that conference going against like a young up and coming team. Packers youngest team in the league here. It'll be a fun one, I think. Though this is projected to be the highest scoring game of the weekend. I think I saw the over under was like 50 some odd points there. So Shanahan, LaFleur, some of the best offensive minds out there. LaFleur with just a young squad there. Like all his wide receivers, tight ends are basically first and second years. So it's really great that what they've been able to kind of build from there now. So Jordan Love looked great. Packers have had a great season, I think. Beat everybody's, I think, at least, both of our expectations, a lot of analysts' expectations. That being said, it definitely felt like it was much more about the Cowboys kind of just cowboying. Maybe it's just it's just me and Cowboys fans, but just in how they kind of just choked up there against this Packers team. But 49ers too. This is a team that just has a history of succeeding both not just in the regular season but also in the playoffs. Albeit if they can just keep Brock Purdy healthy, I think that definitely is a big difference maker there. But they have all the talent in the world, great coaching. If they can, get ahead, that's definitely something to watch. Because if the Packers, if they get like a 10-0 score, I think we've seen that sometimes Shanahan is not the best when I guess trying to come back sometimes there. And then obviously his whole fourth quarter stuff as well. Going against elite quarterbacks and offenses, but it is a 9-point spread. 9-point spread here. Matt LaFleur against the spread as an underdog, 70% against the spread. So pretty good there. He was recently quoted as there's a little bit of freedom just kind of being the underdog, and I'm all for that. I love that attitude. I think that's the attitude you got to have, especially when you're going against a juggernaut like the 49ers. But I just think that this 49ers team, they're on a mission. They're not just thinking about the Packers. They'll definitely be focused here, but they have bigger aspirations here. So picking 49ers, but have the Packers covering the 9-point spread there.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like the Niners are looking at, this playoff, game and saying, we really need to just win this game just to have one under our belt. Whereas, like we've talked about with the Cowboys, it's that constant year in, year out pressure that they face being in one of the largest markets for football. I mean, Dak kind of looks nervous under the gun whenever it gets, around this time of year. McCarthy, we could probably digress and just talk about him as a coach, a leader, whatever you want to, call it. But I thought Green Bay did play well in that game in all phases. I mean, but obviously I did feel like that first half was pretty much, on Dak's shoulders. I felt like the narrative was, Dak is choking up. He's, throwing these costly picks. And it got out of hand quickly. And that's what can happen when, just one thing leads to another. We saw the same thing happen in the Cleveland-Houston matchup. Suddenly the game just kind of gets away from you, So, all that said, I don't think we can discount what Jordan Love's meant to this team, what he's, currently showing, what he's doing in his first year as a starter. I mean, similar to Stroud, I just feel like he's, really picking up steam at the right time. He's arguably outplaying Brock Purdy as a quarterback, especially around this time, which matters most. I feel like just having that little bit of extra confidence, will do him wonders. I mean, it could, make this game closer than, most folks would consider. I mean, I think, Purdy's had some of his struggles late here, and he's had to rely on some of his absolute superstars around him to get him, out of trouble. But I mean, that's the luxury that Purdy has. I mean, he's got all of his guys healthy. You name it, you go across the wide receiving core, pretty much money. You got one of the best tight ends in the game. Debatable whether or not he should have been first team All Pro. Another thing we could probably digress about. And then CMC. I mean, I love the guy. I feel like he's now getting his time to shine. This is his second time kind of going through this whole thing with the Niners, and just excited to see what they can do as a team. I think the Chase Young addition at the end of the year, probably properly rated at the time, but man, the impact that guy, probably has on that front four, the confidence they probably have in one another just to, apply pressure. I mean, Jordan Love's, gonna see it a lot, and I want to see how he, plays his way through that. So I think this game will be competitive. I don't know if Jordan Love's going to be enough to, get them over the top. I'm going to take the Niners as well. But I think that he will, earn a lot of respect in this game, and he may outperform Purdy when we look at just, stat lines or just impressions throughout the game. I think that might be one of the narratives we take away from this Saturday's game.
Yeah, this game is definitely going to be one of the most exciting games out there. Just I'm very excited to see it hit that 50-point spread basically, or that 50-point over under. So it's definitely projected to be a high scoring game. So I'll definitely be tuning in for that for sure, and seeing how many points can both teams score there, because these are two great young quarterbacks have been playing really well. Really talented teams out there, and great head coaches. Like, who would have think? Like, great head coaching, right? Let's see what they could do for a young quarterback's development there. So, yeah, very much so looking forward to this matchup and seeing if the Packers can pull something off, or the 49ers can take care of business here.